everyone. I'm Simona. Thank you for being here and for listening to Words of Kindness, a storytelling advent calendar. Today it's my turn to tell a story, and I'd like to tell you an Indian story about a drum and a kind boy who really wanted a drum. Long, long ago, there was a woman, a poor woman who had a child, a boy. And the woman worked as a cleaner, cleaning the houses of her neighbors or of the rich people in the village. But rarely did she have any money at all. She usually worked in exchange for food, grain, fruit, vegetables, whatever they could give her. Rarely did she have any money to buy extra things. Never did she have any money to buy clothes or toys for her boy. But one day she had some extra grain and she decided, well, I'll go to the market and sell this grain in excess. And maybe with the money I'll have some money to buy something for my child. So she went to her boy and asked him, if I had any spare money today after the market, what would you like me to buy for you? The boy looked up at his mother and without hesitation he said, Mom, I'd like a drum. Drum, the mother said. All right. And she went to the market knowing that she would never have enough money to buy a drum for her child. But she went to the market nevertheless. She sold the grain. And indeed, she had some extra money, but not enough to buy a drum. But she bought some extra food, something that she thought her child might like. And then she went back home. And she was walking home, her head bent down, looking at the ground, so sad that she was going home empty-handed. When suddenly on the ground she saw two sticks with a strange shape. She grabbed the sticks, she looked at them and said, well, it's not a drum, but it's better than going home empty-handed. And so she brought the two sticks home to her boy. She gave the sticks to him, who thanked her, and then looked at them and thought, what can I do with this? And he started beating the two sticks together. They made a sound. Well, it was not the sound of the drum, but better than nothing. And the boy happily started walking around the village, beating his two sticks together. And he was walking and walking, when suddenly in front of him, he saw an old woman crying. She went to her and said, why are you crying? Oh, said the old woman, I need to cook some bread. And without a fire, I cannot cook the bread. Without the bread, I cannot eat and I cannot feed my family. But I cannot start the fire. I only have some cow dung and no wood to start the fire with. And all the smoke from the cow dung is making my eyes water and water and water. Oh, but I cannot eat, I cannot feed my family. The boy looked at the two sticks that he had in his hands, and he showed them to the old woman, saying, would this do? The old woman looked at them and said, well, we can try. So together they used the sticks to start a fire, and the old woman cooked bread. And to thank him of his generosity, the old woman gave him a piece of bread. The boy took the bread, but he had just eaten at home. He said, well, I'll save this for later. And around the village he went with the bread in his hand. But then he came to a house where there was a woman waiting outside the house with a child in her arms. The child was crying and crying, and the woman was trying to calm him down, but she couldn't do it. Why is he crying? The boy asked the woman. Well, said the woman, my husband is a potter, but at the moment he's at the market selling our pots. As soon as he comes home, we'll have food to give to the child, but at the moment I haven't got any food in the house to give him. He's crying because he's hungry. The boy looked at the bread in his hand. He gave it to the woman and said, would this do? Would this help? The woman took the bread and gave the bread to her child, who started eating and stopped crying. Thank you, she said. Thank you very much. Oh, please wait. She went inside the house and she came back running. She had a pot in her hands. Here you are, take this. The boy didn't know what to do with a pot, but he said, well, I'll bring it home to my mom. Thank you. And he walked around the village with the pot in his hands. And then he came to that part of the village that was close to the river, and he saw a woman crying. He went to her and said, why are you crying? Oh, said the woman, oh, my husband and I, we are washers. We wash clothes of people for a living. But today I broke the last pot that we had. Now, well, I don't have any more pots to wash and boil the clothes. Without a pot, I haven't got a job, but I haven't got any money to buy a new pot. What can I do? What can I do? And the boy looked at the pot in his hands. He gave it to the woman and said, would this do? Would this help? The woman took the pot. She looked at it and said, this is perfect. Thank you. Oh, wait, please wait. And she ran away and she came back with a coat. Here you are. Please take this and thank you for your generosity. The boy looked at the coat. Well, it was a little too big for him, but he said, thank you. He took the coat under his arm, thinking, well, I'll give this to my mom, or maybe I'll keep it for when I grow older. And he walked around the village. He came to the bridge, and he saw a man crying. The man was naked, and he had a horse behind him. Hey, why are you crying? Oh, said the man, I'm crying because, well, I'm a merchant, but the robbers came. The robbers stole everything I had. They even took my clothes. The only thing that remains to me is this horse. He too was stolen from the merchants, but he came back. The boy looked at the coat under his arm, showed it to the merchant and said, would this do? Would this help? Man wore the coat. It was perfect. Thank you, he said. Well, I want to give you something to thank you. The only thing I have left is this horse. Please take it. The little boy didn't want to take the horse from the merchant, but in the end he accepted. He took the horse and he started going around the village again. He came to a tree, and under the tree there was a party of men. All of them were dressed in fine clothes, but one in particular had a really rich and fine cloth. And he was crying and crying and crying. "Why are you crying?" he said to the man. "Well," the man said, "I'm crying because today I have to get married. But tradition says that I have to go inside the wedding with a horse. But the horseman didn't arrive. Now I haven't got a horse to go inside the wedding with. And the auspicious time for the wedding is going past. I won't be able to get married today." The boy looked at the horse and said, "Would this do? Would this help?" "Well, of course," said the man happily. "Oh, please, please, boy, tell me, what would you like? How can I repay you? I want to say thank you for your generosity and your help." "Well," said the little boy, "I'd really like a drum." "Oh, wait, please, wait here." And the man went to the drummer of the band that was supposed to play at the wedding, and he convinced him to give his drum to the boy. The drummer accepted because he knew that with the money from the wedding, he'd be able, no problem, to buy a new drum. And he was so happy to see the little boy happy. So the man gave the drum to the little boy. The boy took the drum and he ran back home. He ran back home. He ran back home. He showed the drum to his mom and he told her the story of how from 2 sticks and an act of generosity he had acquired the drum. And then he told this story over and over again to all the people that he met. A story of how an act of kindness can bring you a long way. Thank you for listening. Merry Christmas.